Shalom, family. Good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about the Somalians and how reporters are going out there now and questioning what's going on. And they are targeting these reporters. And the Somalians are acting like they are victims. And I was even watching a video a few nights ago, and they're mad at Black Americans for putting videos out about the scamming that's going on. And I was like, well, everybody's putting that out, including mainstream news. So, what the hell? So, Somalians, what a lot of people are saying is they don't like their arrogance. And my thing with them is how they want us to be on their side, and y'all sat there and committed crimes. And finding out the majority of y'all are not even gainfully employed. You're not working, which means most of you have been getting by on scam money. Okay? If you don't have no job, how the hell are you a foreigner in America with no job? And you sitting around talking about we got these homes and fancy cars. Yeah, because you're living on scam money. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. We're not going to support scammers, you know? But see, now y'all trying to play on that skin. Oh, we're all black. You weren't saying you were black before. You weren't saying that before. You kept saying you Somali, you're Arab, you're not black, you're not black. That's what y'all kept saying. Got all kinds of videos of men and women put out saying you weren't black. But as soon as you get in trouble with the law, because you got busted, really. So now we're black and we're brothers. You weren't calling us brothers before. We're brothers and we need to come together to fight this racism. No, we don't. We've been fighting racism virtually all by ourselves the entire time. All of you other groups that came over here, no matter how racist these folks were to you, you still stuck with them, still spoke their talking points, still wanted to be like them. That's what you did. So, no, nobody is coming to your rescue. When we were trying to unite with all of these different groups, none of y'all didn't want it. Not one group wanted to unite with us. The only time y'all wanted to unite with us is when you got in trouble with this government and they decided they wanted you gone. Now, all of a sudden, you know who we are. We need to come together. We need to forget this and forget that and come together. No, we ain't coming together. Number one, all of you groups, including the Africans, have been racist towards us. It's hard to believe that some dark, crispy person from Africa coming all the way over here to America, and you got the nerve to speak white talking points to us. It is absolutely insane. But no, that is the position all of you took. So now you fight this white man and fight his system all by yourself. We sure had to do it. We've been doing it for centuries. Now it's your turn. Fight the system and do it all by yourself. So, y'all, let's get to these videos. And once again, I want to thank everybody for their donations. I'm already at the halfway point. So thank you. Thank you so much. So again, if you don't know, my surgery is the 18th of February. And this will cover the expenses of what I need to get done. I really don't have to spend a lot of time in the hospital. They said I could probably go home the very next morning. which is perfect. I mean, I hate being in hospitals. I hate surgery. I hate all of that, but if it's gonna give me some relief, I'll do it. So y'all, let me go ahead and share my screen. I did put the link pinned up at the top for people that want to donate, and I deeply appreciate it. Um, and again, I pray a special blessing to all of you that have contributed to the Most High. All right, so let's see here. All right. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Okay.
On top of it, so they don't pay for their food, they're not paying for their housing because they're all on welfare. Meanwhile, they're getting cash because the money they get from CCAP, from these daycares, for instance, is all tax exempt. And just wait till I tell you guys about how they're moving millions of dollars to the airport and sending it back to Somalia.
Airport?
Yes. I had a whistleblower come on my new video that we're creating, and inside the Minneapolis airport for years now, you can even see it. Fox News covered it in 2017. They have been funneling millions of dollars in cash through TSA.
Through TSA?
Through TSA.
And I have never seen, I'm sorry, Your Honor, melanin this popping.
A Black woman confronted investigator Nick Shirley by exposing herself and shouting inches from his face. The incident happened during Shirley's latest field reporting following his investigations into alleged Somali-linked fraud schemes, including a daycare that received massive public funding without serving children, and a single building packed with 22 government-funded medical care companies with no visible staff. In the newly recorded footage, a woman moves directly into Shirley's space, yelling loudly while holding her chest in an apparent attempt to disrupt filming and draw attention away from his questions. The confrontation did not involve physical violence, but it instantly shifted the focus from paperwork, filings, and public money to spectacle. Shirley continued documenting as the woman shouted while bystanders watched the exchange unfold. Supporters argue the outburst reflects growing anger toward anyone exposing these operations, while critics say it shows how quickly accountability conversations can be derailed once emotions take over. Shirley has previously stated that every time fraud allegations are raised, intimidation and distraction follow instead of answers. The larger questions remain unchanged. If there is nothing to hide, why respond this way? And does outrage silence scrutiny or only confirm why it exists?
But you can tell when people know that they're wrong, it's because they get more upset about him being there.
How are you doing, man?
I just want to ask you,
Yes, sir.
why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we
to-
sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your,
So this is a Somali
We're not
man
attacking
talking to
your
Nick
community by any
Shirley.
means.
are you making
We're
good money
looking-
from this?
We're looking for fraud.
No, I'm
For
not.
instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
1 second.
It's not there.
How much money are
Why don't you
you,
answer the
how much
question,
money
where's
are you
617
making?
Dreamline Security.
how much money are you
I
making
make
off
money
of
off of
this?
YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing
That my job
and attacking
is,
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
fraud is
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me
David,
tell you the reason why you're
fraud is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Yeah.
This
has
is
nothing to do
interesting to
with
see.
race. This is fraud. and
This is
fraud.
absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
All right, and us being from Africa. This is a
No.
constitutional argument.
No.
So you don't want us here. Change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying.
No,
that.
no, no, no.
We're not
Because
saying
when I go
Sir,
onto
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're
when I go onto your comments,
my comments.
what I see is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You are listen. You're
That's-
preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just like the Japanese community. All right, you're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the
listen.
question. Where?
If you don't know who this is right here, this is Nick Shirley. So behind the camera is a man. He's a Somali man. Nick Shirley is exposing a bunch of fraud that's happening in Minnesota. He's in Minnesota right now. But the Somali people don't like this. This man's trying to say he's against Muslims and all this, but hasn't been anything that Nick Shirley has said where he's going after Muslims. He's going after the fraud. In a couple of days that he's been there, Nick Shirley has uncovered $100 to $150 million in fraudulent daycare centers, transportation companies, all these things. And all he's doing is just putting a spotlight on it. But you can tell when people know that they're wrong, it's because they get more upset about him being there. The guy's not upset about the fraud. He's trying to flip it and say, oh, you just don't want Muslims here, blah, blah, blah. That's not that. Nick Shirley is really there just doing real journalism. That's the crazy part. Somebody's there being out there in the freezing cold and just taking videos and saying, look, I'm going to these buildings and nothing is there. They are getting millions of dollars in the building. Nothing is there that even says the company's name. But now this is what happens when you have people now, they want you to feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for nobody in Minnesota that's Somali because they all been a part of the scam. They all getting paid off of it. Want to see the full clip? Head to Mr. Marcus World YouTube channel. Link is in the bio.
At this grocery store, it's actually not just like a normal grocery store. There's actually a bunch of other stores inside of the grocery store. So right here you have one store, right here you have another store, and then right here you have another store. Then up here you have another store. In total, inside of this section of the grocery store, there are 6 separate stores. How's life here as a Somalian?
Life is good. I do phone bills, sending money to Africa. That's where I do. The business is good.
And how have you seen the rise of Somalians and the rise of Islam here inside of Minnesota?
As well, the rise is good and been allowed. We have a place to pray, and life is good.
How long have you lived here in America for?
For 10 years now.
And when you came here, did the government bring you here, or did you come here by your own choice?
I came here by my own choice. I was one of the refugees from Uganda. I was brought by UN.
You were brought by the UN to come into the United States?
Yes. And life is good, We try to enter into businesses, we intermingle, and we do what is required.
We are following up on a Minneapolis daycare at the center of questions about fraud in Minnesota's child care assistance program.
And ladies and gentlemen, a lot of these businesses these Somalians have, they started those businesses with scam money. Okay. They did not start those businesses the right way, like they want us to believe. I'm reading a lot of these businesses. Not only are they fake and they're scamming, but even the ones that are doing everyday daily business, a lot of the startup came from scam money. So you can't even go by the fact that they're running a business. Okay, where did you get the money for that business? How did you get it started? In most cases, scam money. Okay.
We have been tracking CCAP funding for more than a year. Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen is here with new developments raising, Eric, even more questions.
You might have heard this name. We're talking about the Quality Learning Center near downtown Minneapolis. First, it was closed, then it was open, and now we've confirmed it's closed again. That's all after the owners recently rejected allegations of stealing taxpayer money. Back at the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis, it was a case of deja vu. Hi, this is Eric Rasmussen with KSTP Channel 5. We're still waiting for a response to our calls and emails looking for an explanation about what 5 Investigates found Wednesday morning. A search of the state's online system reveals Quality Learning Center now closed as of January 6th. A 180-degree turn after our cameras recorded a parade of parents and children into the business last week. The owners used that to refute a viral YouTube video claiming to expose empty daycares, collecting millions of taxpayer dollars.
Someone came to our building outside of operating hours.
So why is the daycare suddenly closed again? The Department of Children, Youth, and Families would only tell 5 Investigates that Quality Learning Center requested closure of their license on Tuesday. No answer from the daycare's owner when property records led us to this house in Shoreview looking for answers. What do you make of the fact that right after that big scene last week that they're closed again.
Well, to me, that's where there's smoke, there's fire. Perhaps they're trying to avoid something.
State Rep Nolan West says questions about Quality Learning Center prompted him to send a letter to the head of DCYF demanding more transparency and accountability when it comes to which licensed daycare providers in Minnesota are actually open. A question KSTP has been asking for a long time since reporter Jay Coles found empty daycares receiving taxpayer funding a year ago. What do you think may actually come out of your letter, our reporting, all this attention?
Well, the idea is we need this to be taken seriously because we need bipartisan cooperation to pass any law in Minnesota. And clearly, we are in need of more anti-fraud measures.
As we reported last week,
listen, the reason why it's closed is because it was always fraud. And they couldn't get enough people to actually volunteer to try to pretend like they had a real daycare. I don't doubt that they wouldn't actually try to open up another daycare somewhere else under a different name with same owners. And so what I would tell people is that they still need to be vigilant and stay on top of this to prevent this from ever happening again with this particular people, right? There's other people, obviously, and it's widespread. It's not even just in Minneapolis. People have unveiled that it's happening all across the nation, including in Ohio and places like that. And so we have to be vigilant in the fight against fraud, because the thing that we're realizing is that the
Somalian politician in Maine has placed a bounty on the head of journalists for reporting the fraud in Maine's main care.
So a Somali American politician here in Maine, Abdullahi Ali,
just the name,
a murder bounty on a journalist for reporting a fraud scandal.
Oh my God.
The dollars involving main care. No wonder main care and taxes are so expensive here. It's being funneled back to Somalia.
Mm-hmm. So the Somali community has been placing bounties on journalists exposing the fraud. You guys, I am so done pretending this is complicated. If someone is here illegally or we know they're violating their visa or green card terms, enforce the law. Deport them. If they're naturalized, denaturalize them. Revoke it. This is not radical. This is basic governance. And while politicians and legacy media look the other way, Nick Shirley did their job for them. By knocking on doors and asking questions, he's helped expose what could amount to over $100 million in daycare fraud tied to Minnesota's childcare system. All of it operating under Tim Walz's watch. So here's the real question everyone should be asking. Why won't the legacy media touch it? Why won't they investigate it? Why won't they follow the money? Instead, we hear reports of intimidation and threats against people exposing the fraud, while career politicians move forward with full security detail and zero accountability. AOC and Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, you guys don't need your entourages. Get the hell out of here. That's backwards. Nick Shirley and anyone else exposing this fraud should have full-out security detail for exposing the corruption. Stop shielding the systems and enabling it, Democrats, because silence isn't neutrality. It's complicity. And we will have the rule of law in this country again.
But the crazy thing about the fraud is that allegedly $9 billion, their GDP of Somalia is $12 billion. So we've pretty much replaced that whole entire country.
That's insane.
Wow. And has Ilhan Omar said anything about this or no?
She has not
defended it or anything.
She has not said a word. Her last post was December 24th. I posted the video on December 26th. She has not said a word.
And she's Somalian, right?
She's Somalian. She was born in Somalia.
Oh, she was. But she became a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
What's up with her? Who, like, Trump said she married her cousin or something?
Yes, she married her brother to let him get citizenship, and there's legal proof of that.
In the newly recorded footage, a woman moves directly into Shirley's space, yelling loudly while holding her chest in an apparent attempt to disrupt filming and draw attention away from his questions. The confrontation did not involve physical violence, but it instantly shifted the focus from paperwork, filings, and public money to spectacle. Shirley continued documenting as the woman shouted while bystanders watched the exchange unfold. Supporters argue the outburst reflects growing.
Okay, so no matter how you look at it, y'all, this is one big mess. And, you know, it's funny how this government can check behind us on everything. Y'all be all petty and stuff when it comes down to us. But these folks come And nobody looks into a thing. Nobody investigates on why this daycare is getting $2.5 million a year. Nobody gets off their ass and go over there. But I bet if one of us wrote something down, oh, you gonna know everything about it. Oh, you gonna go out and investigate and be petty and everything. It's just amazing how, as long as it's not us, they are willing to look the other way. And that's the bottom line. These folks don't have no issue with no one but us. We're the only ones they got a major issue with. But you know what? Yes, the Somalians look bad in this whole thing, but so does America. So does this US government. Y'all look bad in it too. So, y'all, that's all I have on this one. Now, I do have another live that's coming up at 1:45, and this is the door-to-door ICE raids that are going on in Minnesota. So we'll be touching on that at 1:45. I hope to see you then. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Shalom, family.